Hello there, and welcome to the calm space of LUMIVERSE NL, where the noise of the world fades into stillness, and learning becomes a way to rest. Perhaps you've had a long day, or maybe you're here simply to let your thoughts slow down. This is your quiet corner of the planet, a place to drift between knowledge and calm. Tonight, we'll begin a journey through the hidden heart of nature, not just to observe it, but to feel it breathe. Beneath your feet lies an entire universe of life. In a single teaspoon of healthy soil, there are more living organisms than there are people on Earth. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, invisible builders working together beneath the surface. They recycle fallen leaves, release nutrients, and weave chemical signals that let plants communicate. To imagine it is to picture an underground city, glowing softly in the dark, billions of lives, linked by threads thinner than hair. Each movement beneath the soil sustains what we see above it: the forests, the meadows, even the air we breathe. Without these unseen creatures, the chain of life would fall silent. Scientists still discover new species in a simple scoop of earth, proof that wonder exists even in what we step on every day. In this quiet web of roots and minerals, every grain holds memory. Some microorganisms live for mere seconds, while others leave chemical trails that last for centuries. Their purpose is simple: to keep the earth alive. One breath, one decay, one rebirth at a time. When you stand barefoot on the ground, you are standing on an entire world, unseen but alive, humming gently beneath the weight of your footsteps. The soil listens, learns, and responds. It has done so for billions of years, long before the first human word was spoken. So tonight, as you rest, remember this: the ground beneath you isn't still. It's breathing with you, carrying the pulse of a living planet. And if these calm journeys help you unwind, take a quiet moment to subscribe. It helps others find their way here too, one curious dreamer at a time. In the quiet rhythm of nature, not everything stands still. Some life forms move so subtly that we miss their gestures, while others move fast enough to surprise us. Among them are the hunters of the plant world, living traps that blend patience with precision. The Venus flytrap, found in the wetlands of the Carolinas, waits in perfect stillness. Two delicate leaves open like jaws, lined with fine trigger hairs. When touched twice in quick succession, the trap snaps shut in less than a second, one of nature's most astonishing reflexes. Inside, digestive enzymes begin their work, turning the captured insect into nourishment. It's not cruelty, it's survival in slow motion, designed for places where the soil offers little food. Nearby, in quiet bogs, the sundew glitters with droplets that look like morning dew. But those tiny beads are sticky, and when an insect lands, the leaf curls inward, wrapping its prey in a slow, shimmering embrace. Underwater, the waterwheel plant spins its traps unseen, moving faster than any human eye can track. Each motion happens because of minute changes in water pressure inside the plant's cells, a delicate dance between biology and physics. It's easy to think of plants as still, but in truth, they are constantly listening, adjusting, and responding. Some track the sun, others sense touch, humidity, even sound. Every movement is a conversation between the plant and its environment, quiet, deliberate, and filled with intelligence we're only beginning to understand. Imagine standing in a meadow at dawn. Every blade of grass bends slightly toward the light. Every vine twists, seeking support. The forest seems motionless, yet it's alive with slow choreography, an ancient rhythm of adaptation. Plants don't rush. They measure time differently, not in minutes, but in the rise and fall of seasons. In their stillness lies an unseen wisdom, to act only when the world is ready. And when that moment comes, Life unfolds with purpose, beauty, and calm precision. If this quiet discovery of motion and patience soothes you tonight, take a breath and let your thoughts drift like leaves following sunlight. And perhaps, subscribe to join our journey through the living world, where even the still can move, and silence holds its own kind of conversation. Far from the noise of cities, in the silent highlands of the world, stand the oldest living beings on Earth. Their roots reach deep into time itself, the bristlecone pines, ancient trees that have watched civilizations rise and fall, yet remain unmoved. Some of them are more than 4,000 years old, older than the pyramids, older than written words. They grow slowly, shaped by hardship. The wind sculpts their branches, the cold carves their bark, and yet they endure. Their wood is so dense that it resists decay, allowing these trees to persist long after others would crumble to dust. Every ring inside their trunks is a story, a memory of a season, a storm, a year of drought, or a rare summer of rain. When scientists count these rings, they read time itself, tracing back through ages when glaciers shifted and stars still had different names. Standing before one, you feel something beyond age, a presence. The tree is alive, yes, but it is also a monument to patience. It survives not by strength, but by restraint. In harsh years, it lets parts of itself die to protect what remains. When the world softens again, it slowly awakens, sending out a few new needles, one more breath, one more year. In this quiet endurance lies a kind of wisdom that survival does not always mean growth, but knowing when to pause. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it. The whisper of wind moving through twisted wood, the long sigh of centuries passing through needles that outlived empires. Nearby, other giants share the same lesson. The sequoias of California stretch high into the sky, some reaching heights of 100 meters. Their roots, surprisingly shallow, intertwine with those of neighboring trees, creating a living network that keeps entire groves steady during storms. Alone, a single tree might fall. Together, they stand for thousands of years. This hidden collaboration mirrors the soil beneath them, an unspoken agreement between life forms that grow, breathe, and adapt as one. Even in isolation, nature is never truly alone. There's a strange comfort in this realization. The idea that everything living from a blade of grass to a mountain pine is part of the same slow, rhythmic breath of the planet. You may not hear it, but the earth is always exhaling, and these ancient trees are its lungs. At night, when the wind moves across their ridges, they hum softly, a vibration that travels through the wood, down into the roots, and into the ground beneath your feet. That sound has been the same for thousands of years. To listen is to share a moment with time itself. So the next time you find yourself beneath a tree, pause. Place your hand against its bark. You are touching more than wood, you are touching memory, endurance, and the gentle truth that life continues quietly, even when the world rushes past it. And if the calm strength of these ancient beings helps you slow your thoughts tonight, leave a quiet comment below. Perhaps tell us which corner of nature brings you peace. You might inspire another soul to look up, breathe, and find stillness beneath a living sky. Deep in the green underworld of tropical forests, a quiet drama unfolds, one so strange that it feels like something from a dream. Among the wet leaves and tangled roots, small ants march in perfect order, unaware that their minds are no longer their own. They've been taken over by one of nature's most remarkable manipulators, a parasitic fungus known as Ophiocordyceps. It begins invisibly. A single spore lands on an ant's body, clinging to its exoskeleton. Slowly, the fungus spreads, weaving through muscle and nerve, taking control of every movement. The infected ant wanders from its colony, climbing higher, compelled by a force it can't resist. It finds a leaf, bites down, and freezes. That single motion, a locked jaw on green stem, marks the end of its will. Then, in silence, the fungus finishes its work. It consumes the host from within, feeding on tissue until only the shell remains. From the back of the ant's head, a slender stalk emerges, releasing a fine mist of spores into the air. Each one drifts downward, ready to begin the cycle again. What seems like horror to us is balance to the forest. The fungus is not cruel, it is precise. Its timing, its placement, its control over behavior all ensure that life continues in rhythm. The height of the dead ant isn't random, it's perfect for spreading spores to the forest floor below. The entire sequence is an equation written by evolution, repeated endlessly with quiet accuracy. And it isn't alone. Throughout the natural world, there are countless forms of hidden control viruses that alter a caterpillar's appetite until it dies beneath the perfect leaf. Wasps that inject their offspring into living spiders, even plants that use scent to summon their pollinators exactly when needed. These interactions blur the lines between life and death, individuality and network. In this forest theater, nothing happens without purpose. Every actor, fungus, insect, tree, plays its role in maintaining the balance that keeps the ecosystem alive. The fallen ant becomes soil, the fungus becomes air, and new growth begins again from the same cycle of endings. If you could see this world beneath the undergrowth, it would feel almost unreal, a labyrinth of light and decay, beauty and calculation. Threads of fungus stretch invisibly between leaves, glowing faintly under ultraviolet light. Ants march along branches unaware that fate may already be inside them. And above it all, sunlight filters down in slow motion, like the pulse of an ancient mind keeping everything in rhythm. Scientists still study these interactions, not only to understand how nature manipulates itself, but to learn how communication and control exist, even at microscopic scales. Some even believe that similar patterns might exist across entire ecosystems, invisible forces guiding the choices of plants, animals, and even weather. To the human eye, it might seem unsettling, life feeding on life, intelligence hidden in decay, but perhaps it's a lesson that even in endings there is design, and in loss there is renewal. As you breathe tonight, remember that every inhale carries the same air that once drifted through those forests, carrying spores, pollen, and fragments of ancient life. You are part of that exchange, another link in the same infinite circle. Let that thought rest with you. The forest doesn't fear transformation. It surrenders to it quietly, completely, without resistance. And in that surrender, it endures. If this glimpse into nature's secret balance moves something within you, take a moment to breathe with the rhythm of the forest. And if you'd like to continue this calm journey, subscribe and drift with us through the mysteries that live behind every leaf and every breath. There are places on Earth where the sky itself seems to rain life. In the small town of Lloro, Honduras, locals have a name for it: lluvia de peces, the rain of fish. It happens suddenly, without warning, often after a fierce thunderstorm. The air cools, the clouds break, and when the rain fades, the streets glisten not only with water, but with hundreds of small, silver fish wriggling across the ground. For generations, people have watched this miracle unfold and offered their own stories to explain it. Some believe it's a divine blessing, a gift from the heavens to feed the hungry. Others see it as one of the planet's strange, recurring mysteries, an atmospheric puzzle written in wind and pressure. Scientists, in their search for understanding, have suggested that powerful waterspouts or tornado-like systems form over rivers and seas, lifting fish high into the sky before carrying them inland. When the storm weakens, the caught fish fall with the rain, returning to Earth in a dazzling shower of motion. Whether miracle or meteorology, the sight must be surreal, a living rainfall, each drop alive and shining. Imagine standing beneath a dark sky, thunder fading in the distance, and watching the clouds release not water, but the shimmer of small fins and scales. In that moment, the ordinary laws of nature feel suspended, replaced by wonder. And this phenomenon isn't unique to Honduras. Reports of raining animals stretch across centuries and continents: frogs in Serbia, crabs in Japan, jellyfish in England. Sometimes the creatures are carried by strong winds. Other times, they rise through thermal currents or tornado funnels that move with silent strength. Whatever the cause, the result is always the same: life falling from the sky, like a reminder that nature still holds surprises no equation can fully contain. It is easy to forget, in our predictable modern world, how unpredictable the planet once was and still is. The rain of fish is not just an oddity, it's a glimpse into the unseen power of the atmosphere, a space where wind becomes ocean and sky becomes river. Every drop of rain has a story before it reaches the ground, a path carved through air and cloud, heat and gravity. If we could trace each of those paths, we'd find the same rule repeating everywhere. Nothing in nature stands alone. The fish lifted by storms are carried by the same winds that shape continents and feed the rains that fill distant lakes. What happens above us is always connected to what lies below. For those who witness it, the rain of fish becomes more than a local legend. It becomes proof that our world is still capable of wonder, that science and mystery can coexist, each amplifying the other. You don't need to explain it to feel its beauty. Sometimes awe is enough. Even now, as scientists record the phenomenon, local children still chase the fish through puddles, laughing as they gather them into buckets. Elders watch quietly, remembering how the same rain has returned year after year, generation after generation. The event lasts only moments, but its memory lingers, told again and again beneath the echo of distant thunder. And maybe that's the point. The world doesn't always reveal its secrets through logic or order. Sometimes it whispers them in moments that last no longer than a storm, a brief shimmer of life falling from the clouds, a reminder that the earth is more alive, more playful, and more unpredictable than we ever imagined. So, tonight, as you listen to the sound of rain against your window, think of that storm in Euro, the wind, the water, and the sky full of silver light. Somewhere, the clouds might be carrying something extraordinary once again. If this vision of living rain brings a quiet sense of awe to your evening, let it stay with you. Breathe slowly. And if you'd like to travel deeper into nature's hidden miracles, follow this calm path with us through the next chapter, where we'll meet the creatures that can sleep through the coldest winters and awaken when the earth remembers warmth. Far to the north, where the air burns cold and winter stretches for half the year, there are creatures that have learned to pause life itself, not to sleep, but to stop completely. The wood frog of Alaska, small enough to fit in your palm, is one of nature's quiet immortals. When the temperature drops below freezing, it allows 2/3 of the water in its body to turn to ice. Its heart stops. Its blood no longer flows. Its cells freeze solid. For months, it becomes a statue, motionless, breathless, caught between death and life. And yet, when the first sunlight of spring warms the forest floor, the miracle begins. Slowly, the frog thaws. Its heart trembles once, then beats again. Blood moves. Its eyes open. Within hours, The creature that was frozen solid begins to hop, as though nothing had happened. What should be impossible becomes routine, a biological magic repeated year after year. Inside its body are compounds like glucose and urea that act as natural antifreeze, protecting its cells from bursting as the ice forms. The frog's organs endure the deep freeze as if they were waiting in suspended time, perfectly preserved. This strange chemistry turns the frog into a living paradox, one that dies to survive. It's not alone. Insects in the Arctic, tiny fish beneath the polar ice, and even the microscopic tardigrade use similar strategies. Tardigrades, often called water bears, can dry out completely and enter a state known as cryptobiosis. In that state, metabolism nearly stops. DNA is locked in place, and the creature becomes almost indestructible. They can survive boiling heat, cosmic radiation, or the vacuum of space, proof that life has found ways to persist in places where existence itself seems impossible. To watch such endurance is to glimpse the resilience that underlies all of nature. Where humans build shelters and fires, these creatures build chemistry, internal fortresses of sugar and protein that hold back death itself. It's a lesson written in ice. Survival does not always mean motion. Sometimes, to live is to wait. In the frozen woods, time stretches, snow muffles sound, and beneath the surface, roots, seeds, and sleeping animals all wait for a signal that the world is returning. When that signal comes, a change in light, a rise in temperature, a shift in scent, everything awakens together. The forest exhales, rivers begin to move, and life resumes its quiet cycle as if the pause had never happened. There is something deeply comforting in this rhythm. The earth, too, freezes and thaws through its long history, ice ages and interludes, silence followed by movement. The same patience that carries the frog through winter carries the planet through eons. We are all, in some way, waiting for warmth. Imagine standing in that forest on the first day of spring. The ground is still cold, but soft enough to sink into. The air smells faintly of melting snow and bark. Somewhere beneath a log, a frog wakes, its tiny heart beating again for the first time in months. You would never notice, but the forest does. Everything stirs quietly, collectively, as if remembering a song it had forgotten. And that's the quiet wonder of it all. Life doesn't just endure, it returns. It doesn't resist the cold, but works with it, adapting until even death becomes part of the cycle. As you listen tonight, let this thought settle in your mind like snowfall. No matter how deep the freeze, the pulse of life waits beneath. It will rise again as surely as morning follows the longest night. If this moment of stillness and renewal brings a sense of peace to you, let it stay. Breathe slowly, as the forest breathes. And if you'd like to keep exploring these hidden miracles of resilience and rest, subscribe or share this calm journey so more dreamers can wander with us through the gentle science of survival. Somewhere above you, lightning is striking. Maybe not where you stand, not even in your part of the world. But at this very moment, somewhere on Earth, the sky has split open with light. Scientists estimate that lightning flashes more than 8 million times each day. That's over 90 strikes per second, a constant pulse of energy coursing through the atmosphere like the heartbeat of the planet itself. Each bolt begins as a whisper of imbalance. Inside thunderclouds, tiny particles of ice collide, separating electric charges, positive rising, negative sinking. As the tension builds, invisible fingers of electricity reach downward, searching for connection. When they find it, a tree, a mountain, the open ground, the air itself tears apart. For a fraction of a second, temperatures rise above 30,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the Sunday. The air expands violently, and that expansion becomes the sound we call thunder. Lightning is more than spectacle. It is chemistry. When the bolt passes through the air, it splits nitrogen molecules apart, allowing them to combine with oxygen. The result is nitrogen oxide, a compound essential for life. Rain carries it down into the soil, where plants absorb it, feeding the cycle of growth that sustains everything else. Each storm, then, is both destruction and creation, a fierce, momentary flash that helps the world continue to breathe. Imagine standing in the tropics during the rainy season. The horizon flickers like a slow pulse, storm after storm blooming in silence beyond the mountains. In the dark, the world glows for an instant, then fades again. Lightning illuminates rivers, fields, and distant forests, a reminder that the atmosphere above us is alive and restless, never still. But lightning isn't confined to the ground. There are hidden bolts far above the clouds, enormous red and blue flashes known as sprites and elves, forming high in the atmosphere. These electric blossoms stretch for tens of kilometers, invisible to most eyes but recorded by satellites and pilots who pass through the upper skies. In their ghostly beauty lies a hint that even the calm heavens are full of secret storms. Across history, humans have watched lightning with a mix of awe and fear. To the ancient Greeks, it was the weapon of Zeus. In Norse legend, the hammer of Thor. In early civilizations, the strike of light was seen as divine, a message, a warning, or a gift. Today, we understand the physics behind it, but not the feeling it inspires. Even knowing what it is, we still hold our breath when the sky lights up. There's something deeply human in that moment, a recognition that the earth still moves to forces beyond our control. We live surrounded by technology and light, yet lightning reminds us how small we are. One flash, one thunderclap, and we remember that the same energy that powers the storm also stirs within us. Electrical impulses that make our hearts beat, our thoughts form, our bodies move. The difference between the storm and ourselves is only scale. The same current flows through both. The sky and the self are made of the same spark. So next time you see lightning across a summer horizon, take a moment before the thunder reaches you. That delay, the silence between the flash and the sound, is a measure of distance, but it's also a measure of time, of perspective. The light travels faster, the sound slower, but both arrive eventually, just like understanding, just like peace. As the storm passes and the air cools, the earth feels cleaner, charged yet calm, a planet breathing out after holding its breath. Somewhere, new nitrogen seeps into the soil, and far away, a field of grass begins to grow greener because of what happened in the clouds tonight. That's the quiet generosity of the storm. It gives more than it takes. If this calm reflection on nature's electricity brings you a moment of grounding, a sense of connection between sky and earth, stay with it. Take one slow breath for every second between flash and thunder. And when the sound finally reaches you, let it carry your thoughts away, like the last echo of a heartbeat fading into rain. Not all fish stay in the sea. In the quiet edges of the world where water meets land and tides pull the boundaries of life back and forth, some creatures have learned to walk. The mud skipper, small and curious, spends most of its life above the surface, perched on wet mudflats and mangrove roots. It blinks through eyes that can see both air and water, breathing not through gills alone, but through its skin and the lining of its mouth. When the tide retreats, the mud skipper follows, propping itself up on strong fins that act like hands. It hops, slides, and climbs, leaving faint trails behind a fish that remembers the land before fins turned into feet. This isn't imagination, it's evolution in motion. Watching a mud skipper move feels like watching time bend a glimpse into that distant era when the first creatures dared to leave the ocean. It pushes itself through mud, gulps air, and stares back at us from the edge of two worlds, comfortable in both, belonging to neither. Far across the planet, another species performs a similar dance. The climbing perch, native to Asia, can survive out of water for days. It breathes through specialized organs and crawls from one pond to another using its fins, sometimes crossing entire fields when rains flood the land. It's a traveler between elements, an amphibious pioneer, showing that the line between land and water is thinner than it seems. These creatures remind us that adaptation is a form of quiet courage. Life rarely stays where it's comfortable. It experiments, reaching outward, testing boundaries. The same restlessness that sends a mudskipper onto the shore is what sends seeds drifting across oceans or birds migrating between continents. It's the same drive that shapes every form of survival, the desire to move toward possibility. And nowhere is that spirit clearer than in the vast green heart of the planet, the Amazon rainforest, where water and air are bound in constant exchange. The Amazon doesn't just receive rain, it makes its own. Every day, billions of liters of moisture rise from its leaves into the sky, forming clouds that drift and cool, returning as rain. This endless breath of evaporation and condensation is what keeps the forest alive, a cycle so vast that it influences weather patterns thousands of kilometers away. From space, you can see it, the world's lungs exhaling mist into the atmosphere. From the forest floor, it feels like standing inside a living organism. The air hums with humidity. Every leaf drips with condensation. When it rains, it doesn't fall from above so much as it condenses all around you, wrapping everything in a shimmer of life. Each drop that falls has already risen once before, drawn upward by the heat of sunlight striking the green canopy. The rain that nourishes the Amazon is, in a sense, the forest giving itself back to itself. It is self-sustaining, self-renewing, a perfect cycle of giving and receiving. But this delicate balance depends on every tree, every root, every breath. Remove too many, and the rain falters. The rhythm of life slows. The forest that makes its own weather begins to forget its song. Scientists warn that beyond a certain threshold, the system could collapse, turning from rainforest to dry savanna. Yet even in that warning, there is wonder, the realization that a living ecosystem can shape the climate of a continent and that our planet breathes through its forests. Standing in the Amazon, you would feel it. The air moves with purpose. The trees seem to inhale light and exhale water. The river winds through a green maze of sound insects, birds, the distant murmur of thunder. Every surface glows with motion, yet the overall feeling is stillness, as though time itself slows to the rhythm of rainfall. The mudskipper and the Amazon share something profound, the instinct to move, to adapt, to create balance from change. One crosses from water to land, the other blurs the boundary between sky and earth. Both are reminders that nature is not static. It breathes, transforms, and reshapes itself with infinite patience. And in that constant motion lies peace, a living reminder that even when things change, the pulse of the world remains steady. If this thought brings you calm tonight, let it stay with you for a moment. Breathe in, as the forest does. Breathe out, as the clouds release their rain. And if you'd like to continue exploring how nature bends the rules of possibility, subscribe or share this journey so that others may find stillness within movement and wonder within every quiet breath of the earth. Beneath the waves, where sunlight fades into shadow and sound travels farther than sight, there are rivers that flow through the ocean itself. They twist and turn across the seafloor like ghostly currents, invisible from above, yet powerful enough to carve valleys and shape entire underwater landscapes. These are not rivers of fresh water, but of dense, heavy brine and sediment, moving beneath lighter layers of seawater. In places like the Black Sea, one such river winds for more than 100 kilometers through the depths, complete with banks, channels, and swirling eddies. If you could dive there, you'd see something astonishing. A river within a sea, flowing through darkness, its current carrying fine particles and nutrients to places sunlight will never reach. The boundary between the two layers where dense and light water meet creates an eerie illusion. Divers describe it as a visible, trembling veil, like a liquid horizon. You can swim above it, through it, or along its edge, feeling the pull of gravity, even in a world without air. The river beneath the sea moves silently, patient and purposeful, part of an unseen network that connects ecosystems in the deep. These underwater currents are vital to life on Earth. They carry oxygen to depths where photosynthesis cannot reach, transport nutrients from decaying organisms, and shape the global balance of heat and carbon. Some scientists call them the veins of the planet, circulating the energy of the oceans, just as blood circulates through the human body. Without them, much of the sea would stagnate, a silent desert of still water. But not all underwater rivers are formed from salt. Some are born where fresh groundwater seeps through limestone, emerging beneath the waves to mix with seawater. Off the coast of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, vast underwater cave systems known as cenotes connect to the ocean through submerged tunnels. In these passages, fresh and salt water form distinct layers, creating mirror-like illusions where divers float between worlds, neither fully below nor above. The experience is disorienting but breathtaking. Beams of sunlight pierce the entrance, scattering into glowing halos that fade into endless blue. Fish swim through both layers, crossing invisible borders that have existed for thousands of years. The rocks below are etched by time, carved by the same slow patience that shapes mountains and canyons above the surface. In the deepest trenches, where pressure could crush steel, similar flows persist. They move not with violence but with endurance, slow rivers of cold, dense water sinking and spreading across the ocean floor. These thermohaline currents connect every ocean on Earth in what scientists call the global conveyor belt. It's a system so vast that one drop of water may take 1,000 years to complete a full journey around the planet. Through this endless cycle, heat moves from the tropics to the poles, carrying life where there might otherwise be only ice. A molecule of water that evaporates from the Pacific may one day sink into the Atlantic, then rise again as rain over a distant continent. In this way, the rivers beneath the ocean are not separate from the rivers on land. They are the same story told in different languages of motion. To imagine it is to picture the earth breathing slowly, exhaling warmth, inhaling cold. Each current, each wave, each flow is a heartbeat, keeping the planet alive. When storms ripple across the surface, their energy echoes down through the depths, stirring these ancient pathways. And somewhere in that darkness, perhaps a coral reef receives a new pulse of nutrients, or a deep-sea creature drifts into an eddy that will carry it halfway around the world. Even here, in the quietest, most unreachable corners of the planet, the rhythm of life continues. If you listen carefully, even from the shore, you can sense it. The slow heartbeat of the ocean, the endless movement beneath the calm surface. The sea has never been still. It holds the memory of mountains, the ashes of stars, and the breath of every living thing that has ever existed. So tonight, as you drift toward rest, think of those silent rivers flowing far below, unseen, unending, and utterly essential. They remind us that even in the deepest darkness, movement continues, and that life, in all its forms, never truly stops. And if the sound of the sea brings you calm, let it linger. Allow your mind to follow the current, sinking deeper, softer, slower. And perhaps subscribe or share this moment of stillness so that others too may drift with the rhythm of the tides and find peace in the quiet pulse of the ocean. Deserts are often imagined as lifeless, endless dunes of heat and silence, where nothing moves except the wind. But even in these places, life waits just below the surface, asleep but alert, listening for rain. When the moment finally arrives, the transformation is so sudden, so complete, that it feels like the earth itself is taking a deep breath after centuries of stillness. In places like the Atacama Desert of Chile, where years can pass without a drop of water, thousands of seeds lie buried in dry soil. They wait, some for decades, sealed against time by tiny coats of dust and sunlight. Then, after a rare storm, the first raindrops fall. The water seeps through the sand, touches the dormant seeds, and something ancient stirs. Within hours, stems emerge. Within days, the desert becomes a painting, a vast ocean of color blooming from what was once bare and lifeless ground. Yellows, purples, scarlets, every shade unfurls at once, covering miles of land. The phenomenon is called a desert superbloom, and it can be seen from space, a burst of color so wide and vivid that satellites register it like a living pulse across the planet's driest skin. But its beauty lasts only briefly. As soon as the sun dries the ground again, the petals close, the stems collapse, and the seeds scatter in the wind, each one carrying the memory of rain. In the Mojave Desert and Namib, similar miracles unfold. Cacti swell with stored water, succulents open their thick leaves, and rare flowers bloom only at night when the air cools enough to breathe. Insects, birds, and even small mammals awaken from hidden burrows to feed, pollinate, and gather energy before vanishing again into the sand. For a few short days, life returns in full, vivid, chaotic, and complete before fading back into stillness. The rhythm is one of patience, not tragedy. To survive in such harshness, life has learned to time itself perfectly. Seeds remember the pattern of rain. Flowers sense the humidity of the air before deciding to open. Even bacteria in the soil remain dormant for centuries, then awaken when water touches them again. They are nature's archivists, storing the blueprint of vitality until the world is ready to grow. And when the bloom ends, the desert does not mourn. It simply waits again. Waiting is what deserts do best. They understand time not as a line, but as a circle. Dry seasons and brief moments of abundance, repeating over and over. To live there is to live in rhythm with absence, to trust that the rain will return even if it takes a generation. If you've ever walked through a desert after a rare rainfall, you've felt that miracle yourself. The air smells different, clean, electric, alive. The ground, once dusty and pale, darkens to the color of bronze. Tiny footprints appear overnight, as if the earth has been quietly rehearsing for this moment. You can almost hear the sound of growth, a soft crackling under the surface as seeds split open and reach for light. The desert is not dead, it is sleeping. And sleep, after all, is not the end of life but the preparation for its return. There's a quiet message in these brief blooms that beauty doesn't need to last to be real. The desert doesn't hoard its color. It gives everything at once, fully, fearlessly, and then fades. Perhaps that's why it feels so sacred. It teaches us that transience can be a form of perfection, and that renewal sometimes comes only to those who wait without despair. Somewhere, right now, a desert is blooming. It may be miles away, or on the other side of the world, But the same sunlight that touches your face is waking seeds that haven't seen the sky in years. For a week, perhaps two, they will live, shine, and vanish. But their memory will remain beneath the sand, sleeping quietly until the next rain. So tonight, if your life feels like dry ground, remember this. Even silence holds potential. Even stillness is alive with waiting. Let that thought settle like dust after wind, soft, weightless, full of promise. And if this calm reminder of patience and renewal brings you peace, take a moment to share it. Someone else may be waiting for their own rain, their own quiet season to bloom again. Far below the ocean's calm surface, deep in the darkness where light has never reached, the earth is still building itself. Here, the planet breathes fire, slow, steady, and unstoppable. When an undersea volcano erupts, molten rock called magma forces its way through the crust, rising like a pulse from the planet's core. At first, it meets cold water with violence, steam, shock, and boiling waves. But, with time and pressure, something extraordinary happens. The molten rock cools, hardens, and begins to pile upon itself. Inch by inch, eruption by eruption, a mountain is born beneath the waves. If the volcano continues long enough, that mountain breaks the surface. It emerges steaming and black, still glowing with heat, a newborn island, rising from nothing. To stand on such a place, newly formed and still warm beneath your feet, is to witness creation in its rawest form. In 1963, off the coast of Iceland, this very story unfolded. The sea shook and hissed as an underwater volcano burst through the surface, forming the island of Surtsey. For months, smoke and ash filled the air. When the eruption finally ended, a new land stood where there had only been water before, barren, fragile, and utterly new. And then, something beautiful began. Seeds arrived first, carried by ocean currents and birds. Mosses spread across the cooling lava. Soon, insects came, then birds. Over the years, Surtsey transformed from bare rock to a living ecosystem, a laboratory of evolution watched closely by scientists, untouched by human interference. Every plant that grows there, every creature that nests, tells a story of beginnings. Volcanic islands like Surtsey remind us that creation and destruction are not opposites. They are partners in the same dance. From the same heat that erases landscapes comes the foundation for new life. Ash becomes soil. Lava becomes mountain. The planet's violence, given time, becomes its renewal. Across the Pacific, chains of islands stretch for thousands of kilometers. The Hawaiian archipelago, each island younger than the one before it, each born from the same volcanic hotspot, deep below the crust. As the tectonic plate drifts slowly over that fiery point, new islands rise while older ones erode into the sea. It's a cycle so vast and patient that it unfolds over millions of years, yet the pattern is unmistakable. Birth, decay, rebirth. Even now, the ocean hides volcanoes that are still building the next generation of islands. Some will never breach the surface. Others may one day host forests, birds, and rivers. It's easy to forget, looking at a map, that the shapes of continents are not fixed. The planet beneath us is alive, shifting, creating, erasing, and starting again. And where fire meets water, strange forms of life appear. Around hydrothermal vents, where temperatures exceed boiling, creatures thrive in complete darkness. Giant tube worms, white crabs, and ghostly fish gather around chimneys of mineral-rich steam. They live not on sunlight, but on chemistry feeding on the energy released from deep within the earth. These ecosystems exist miles below the surface, independent of the sun, powered by heat that predates the sky itself. It's humbling to realize that life doesn't need light to begin. It needs only energy and time. Some scientists even believe that these deep-sea volcanoes might be where life itself first emerged, in the warm cracks of the ocean floor, cradled by the same forces that still shape islands today. Standing on volcanic rock, you can feel that energy beneath your feet, the faint warmth of something ancient and unstoppable. It's the same fire that once lit the early Earth, now hidden below our oceans, shaping the world in silence. The next time you watch waves breaking against a coastline, remember that land was once liquid. What now feels eternal began as motion, chaos, and heat. Even the most solid stone carries a memory of transformation. In the grand rhythm of nature, destruction isn't an ending. It's a clearing, a necessary space for new life to begin. From the calmest forest to the most violent eruption, the same truth echoes. Nothing is ever truly lost. Everything returns, reshaped, renewed, reborn from the fire below. So tonight, as you listen to the gentle hum of the earth turning beneath you, think of those glowing mountains rising in darkness, unseen, patient, inevitable. They remind us that even in the deepest silence, the world is still creating. And if this quiet reflection on the earth's hidden power brings you a sense of calm or wonder, let it stay. Share it softly, a thought, a breath, a spark, so that others too may find peace in the steady rhythm of creation and renewal. Deep within forests, deserts, and oceans, nature carries a quiet secret, the ability to rebuild itself, to lose a part and grow it again, to begin anew where damage once was. This is the story of regeneration, one of the most astonishing powers of life on Earth. Imagine a salamander resting beneath a damp log. If a predator attacks and tears away one of its legs, it doesn't bleed endlessly or limp forever. Instead, it begins to grow. Within days, the wound seals not with scar tissue, but with a layer of special cells called blastema. These cells hold a kind of genetic memory, the blueprint for the lost limb. Over weeks, bones, muscles, nerves, and even skin form again, perfectly aligned, as if rewinding time itself. When the process ends, the salamander stands whole once more, its new limb indistinguishable from the old. To watch this in a laboratory is like watching creation in miniature. Scientists still don't fully understand how such regeneration happens. In humans, wounds heal, but scars remain. The body remembers injury, not completion. Yet in salamanders, starfish, and some worms, injury triggers the opposite, not limitation but renewal. They don't just recover, they start over. In the shallow waters of coral reefs, starfish perform similar miracles. Lose an arm, and they regrow it. In some species, if even a single limb contains part of the central disc, an entirely new starfish can emerge, a full being born from a fragment. Each piece carries the potential for wholeness. It's as if the idea of the creature is written in every cell, waiting for its chance to rebuild. Certain fish can even regenerate portions of their heart. Some lizards regrow their tails. Tiny planarian flatworms can be cut into dozens of pieces, each one forming an entirely new worm. The more scientists look, the clearer it becomes. Regeneration isn't a rare gift, it's a memory of nature's original design. Most species lost it over time, trading this flexibility for other strengths. But a few still remember the old way. There's a quiet beauty in this process. It suggests that destruction and renewal are not opposites, but stages of the same motion. Where something is broken, nature sees a beginning. The moment of loss becomes the seed of return. Inside a salamander's limb, regeneration begins with silence. No panic, no wasted motion, only the soft gathering of purpose. Cells awaken, coordinate, and rebuild. What seems miraculous to us is, for them, simply the rhythm of survival. Scientists studying these creatures hope one day to learn their secrets, not to imitate nature, but to listen to it. In the patterns of regeneration, they glimpse possibilities for healing beyond our current reach. New skin for burns, new tissue for damaged hearts, perhaps even new hope for those who have lost what once seemed irreplaceable. But beyond the science lies a deeper reflection. Regeneration reminds us that life, in all its forms, is not defined by what it loses, but by how it continues. The forest grows again after fire. Coral reefs recover after storms. Even the planet itself, wounded by time, keeps restoring its balance in cycles we barely comprehend. If you've ever seen a forest years after it has burned, you know this truth. Charred trunks stand like memories, yet between them sprout young shoots of green. The same soil that once smelled of ash becomes sweet again with new life. Renewal is written into everything. Perhaps that's why watching regeneration feels so peaceful, because it mirrors our own capacity to begin again. Every scar, every ending, every winter holds a quiet instruction. Wait. Heal. Rebuild. Life always finds its way back to itself. Somewhere right now, in the dark of a pond or the tide pool of a coral reef, something small is growing back what it lost. No sound, no hurry, just the patient pulse of nature repairing itself. If this reflection on resilience brings you a sense of quiet strength, let it linger. Take one calm breath and feel your own heartbeat, a rhythm of continuation, a reminder that you, too, are part of this endless cycle of renewal. And if this journey through nature's gentle power has brought a moment of stillness to your night, you can share it softly so others may also find peace in the simple truth that life, no matter how fragile, is always learning how to begin again. Beneath the dry mountains of northern Mexico lies a hidden chamber that seems like something born from a dream. It is silent, humid, and shimmering with light that has no source. This is the Cave of the Crystals, one of the most extraordinary natural wonders ever found beneath the surface of the earth. Discovered by miners in the year 2000, the cave sits nearly 1,000 feet underground in the Nika mine. When explorers first entered, they were struck speechless. Stretching from floor to ceiling were massive beams of selenite crystal, transparent and pale, some over 12 meters long and weighing as much as 55 tons. They looked like frozen light, immense spears of glass glowing softly in the dim heat. Inside the cave, the air is thick and dangerous. Temperatures rise to 58 degrees Celsius, 136 degrees Fahrenheit, and the humidity reaches nearly 100%. Without protective suits, a human could survive only a few minutes. Yet despite the harshness, it is breathtaking. Every surface gleams, refracting the faint light from headlamps into rainbows that scatter across the walls. The floor sparkles underfoot, as if you were walking through the inside of a prism. These crystals grew slowly, impossibly slowly, over hundreds of thousands of years. The process began when mineral-rich groundwater, heated by magma deep below, filled the underground cavities. The water was saturated with gypsum, and as the temperature cooled, selenite crystals began to form. Growth was steady, deliberate, and uninterrupted for millennia. Each degree of temperature, each mineral shift, sculpted these monumental formations grain by grain. The result is a cathedral of patience, a place where time itself becomes visible. Every glimmering edge and every translucent wall is a record of change so gradual it escapes human perception. To stand there is to stand inside time's own architecture. But the cave is fragile. When the mine's pumps stop and groundwater returns, the crystals vanish again beneath the flood, hidden from human eyes. The conditions that allowed them to grow exist no longer on the surface, only here, in this isolated pocket of the earth, where heat, pressure, and water met in perfect balance. Scientists studying the cave of the crystals found not only minerals, but life. Inside the fluid inclusions trapped within the selenite, they discovered dormant microbes, tiny organisms, sealed away for tens of thousands of years. When revived, some of them began to move again, proving that even in the most extreme environments, life endures in silence, waiting for the right moment to awaken. It's a humbling thought that within a stone, something could sleep for ages and still be alive. The crystals are not just geology, they are guardians of time, holding stories older than human civilization. The cave's beauty is nearly impossible to describe. The light bounces endlessly from crystal to crystal, creating the illusion of depth without end. The air vibrates faintly, as though the earth itself were humming a low, sustained note. Every sound echoes your breath, your footsteps, even your heartbeat return to you softer, slower, almost reverent. Few places remind us so clearly that the planet is a living artist. It paints with minerals, sculpts with pressure, and measures its work not in years, but in eternities. What we call solid ground is, in truth, the slow dance of matter becoming form, shape, and beauty. Standing there, surrounded by crystal walls, you can almost forget where you are. It feels less like being underground and more like floating inside light itself. You begin to understand that the earth, for all its weight and density, is capable of grace, quiet, deliberate grace born of time and patience. When explorers finally leave the cave, stepping back into the cool air of the mine, the contrast feels unreal. Above ground, life rushes, machines hum, conversations rise, moments pass quickly. But below, in that secret chamber, time is still slow, the air heavy with creation that never hurried. Perhaps that is the lesson the crystals offer, that beauty does not demand attention. It simply exists, growing silently in the dark, waiting for discovery. As you drift into sleep tonight, imagine those vast, gleaming beams of crystal stretching through the warm shadows of the earth. They have been growing since before humanity, and they will continue long after. Their stillness is not emptiness, it is endurance. And if that image brings you peace, let it stay with you, somewhere beneath your feet. The planet is still crafting miracles, one crystal, one breath, one timeless shimmer at a time. Beneath every forest lies another world, silent, unseen, yet as alive as the trees above it. If you could peel back the soil and look beneath the roots, you would find a vast network of thin white threads weaving through the darkness. These threads belong to fungi, and together they form one of the most complex living systems on Earth, the mycelium network. It stretches for miles, connecting trees, shrubs, and even grasses in invisible communication. Each strand of mycelium is thinner than a hair, yet together they create a living web that allows plants to share water, nutrients, and even warnings. Some scientists call it the wood wide web, nature's underground internet. When a tree in the forest is attacked by insects or disease, it doesn't stand alone. Through chemical signals carried by mycelium, it sends alerts to neighboring trees, prompting them to strengthen their defenses. Older trees, often called mother trees, send sugars to younger saplings, shaded by the canopy, keeping them alive until they're strong enough to reach the light. What we think of as competition is, beneath the soil, often cooperation. It's a kind of intelligence, not one made of neurons or thought, but of response and balance. Mycelium doesn't command or control, it connects. Through it, the forest becomes something larger than the sum of its parts, a single breathing organism spread across the landscape, aware of itself in ways we are only beginning to understand. In laboratory studies, Researchers have traced these fungal networks with glowing dyes, watching them light up as messages pass from root to root. The patterns resemble the neural networks of a brain, firing with purpose and direction. Yet this system predates any animal nervous system by hundreds of millions of years. The forest was thinking in its own quiet way, long before we were here to notice. Each footstep you take in a forest passes above billions of connections, threads that carry life from one being to another. It's humbling to imagine that the ground itself is alive with communication, a slow pulse of information shared through the dark. What looks like stillness is, in truth, a constant conversation. And just like our own world of signals and data, balance is key. Too much disruption, the cutting of trees, the heating of soil can break these threads. When that happens, the forest loses not just its roots, but its memory. Mycelium holds the wisdom of the ecosystem, where water lies, where nutrients are buried, which seasons brought drought or abundance. When those pathways vanish, the forest forgets, and its resilience fades. But the opposite is also true. When new life grows, mycelium spreads quickly, stitching the soil back together, reuniting the roots that feed the green world above. It's a repair system written into the very fabric of the earth. Beyond ecology, there's something poetic in this invisible connection. The idea that cooperation, not isolation, is the foundation of strength. We, too, are part of networks, families, communities, ecosystems, and like the forest, we thrive not through dominance, but through sharing what we have. The mycelium teaches that survival is not about standing tallest, but about being connected deeply. If you've ever walked through a forest after rain, you may have already seen the work of this underground world. The mushrooms rising from the damp ground are only the fruit, the visible bloom of a vast organism that stretches beyond sight. They are like stars in the night sky, brilliant points, marking an invisible structure that binds everything together. The next time you step into the woods, try to listen. Beneath your feet, the soil is whispering, carrying stories from one tree to another, from root to root, from the living to the decaying. It's a cycle of giving and receiving, of death feeding life, of silence shaping sound. In this endless conversation, even fallen trees still speak. Their roots dissolve slowly, feeding fungi, which in turn nourish the next generation of seedlings. Nothing is lost. Everything is shared. So tonight, as you rest, imagine that network beneath the world, the glowing threads that tie forest to forest, life to life. Imagine that you too are part of it, connected through breath, through air, through the quiet exchange that never ends. Because connection is not just how the forest survives, it's how the world remembers. And if this glimpse into nature's hidden communication brings you peace, hold on to it for a moment. You are never truly alone, not in the forest, not in the dark, not even in silence. The earth is always speaking. You only have to slow down enough to hear it. There are colors in the world that human eyes will never see. To us, the visible spectrum feels infinite. Reds deep as fire, blues cold as dawn, greens that seem to hold the heartbeat of life itself. Yet these are only fragments of a far wider palette, one painted in wavelengths beyond our reach. For many creatures, that hidden spectrum is part of daily life, a universe of light invisible to us, but blazing with meaning to them. Among nature's most gifted visionaries are butterflies. Their delicate wings are not just beautiful, they are coded with information. While we see a pattern of color, butterflies see layers of ultraviolet light shimmering across every petal and scale. To them, flowers glow with landing guides, invisible runways that point directly to nectar. Other butterflies wear patterns that reveal secret messages in UV signals for courtship, or warnings to predators that their bodies carry toxins. The painted lady, the blue morpho, and the common bluebottle all see with compound eyes far more complex than ours. Some species possess up to 15 different color receptors, compared to our 3. The world they perceive is not just brighter, but fundamentally different. A landscape of shifting radiance where light bends and moves in ways we can only imagine. To picture it, imagine walking through a garden where each flower hums with invisible energy. The petals pulse with colors outside our vocabulary. Leaves shimmer with ultraviolet veins. Even shadows glow faintly, carrying shapes that reveal information, distance, health, temperature. It's not a dream, it's reality for creatures whose eyes evolved to read the hidden symphony of light. For bees, this ability is more than beauty, it's survival. Flowers use ultraviolet markings as signposts, ensuring pollinators find their way efficiently. In turn, bees and butterflies help the plants reproduce, carrying life from bloom to bloom. Every color, every reflection, is part of a conversation that began long before we learned to name the hues of the rainbow. Even birds see beyond our limits. Many species can detect ultraviolet light, allowing them to distinguish between feathers that look identical to us. A male starling, for example, may appear black in daylight, but under UV light, his plumage glows with subtle iridescence, a signal to potential mates that only other birds can read. For them, the air is alive with hidden messages, a language written in frequencies that shimmer just beyond human sight. And then there are creatures that see without color at all, sensing heat, vibration, or polarized light instead. Pit vipers, for instance, can detect the body warmth of prey even in total darkness, their perception forming an image made of temperature rather than light. To them, every living thing glows softly in infrared, a world not of color, but of warmth. These ways of seeing remind us how limited our vision truly is. What we call reality is just one version of it, a filtered image shaped by our biology. The universe around us burns with wavelengths we can't perceive, sounds we can't hear, and movements too slow or too fast for our senses to follow. Yet even without perceiving them directly, we are surrounded by their presence. Some researchers believe that plants themselves can see light in ways we don't understand, detecting changes in wavelength, direction, and even subtle shifts in color to guide their growth. Every living being, in one form or another, reads the world through light. It is the oldest language in existence, older than sound, older than touch. If we could experience the full spectrum of this invisible world for even a moment, perhaps we'd never see ordinary daylight the same way again. The world would not appear brighter, only deeper. Every shadow, every reflection, every shimmer would feel alive with secret intent. But maybe it's better this way. Maybe some beauty was meant to remain unseen, not to hide, but to remind us of mystery. There is comfort in knowing that no matter how much we learn, the world will always be larger than our understanding. Tonight, as you rest, imagine those butterflies drifting through sunlight that glows beyond your sight. Imagine petals radiating colors that only they can read. Fields alive with light that hums just past the edge of perception. Somewhere, under the same sky, countless eyes are looking upon a world you cannot see, and that world is every bit as real as yours. If this thought brings you calm, that mystery still surrounds us. Patiently waiting, let it stay. Let it remind you that wonder doesn't need to be visible to be true. The unseen, too, has its light. In the hidden worlds beneath the waves, life doesn't always follow the rules we know. Identity itself can be fluid, reshaped by need, by circumstance, by survival. Among the reefs and currents of the ocean, Some creatures possess a quiet and astonishing ability. They can change their sex. To us, the idea may sound extraordinary. To them, it is simply nature's way of keeping balance. In small colonies of clownfish, for example, hierarchy is everything. At the top lives a dominant female, beneath her a single breeding male, and below them a group of smaller, non-breeding fish. When the female dies, the structure doesn't collapse, it transforms. The largest male begins a profound biological shift, turning into a female to take her place. His body changes, hormones realign, even behavior evolves. Within days, the colony is whole again, harmony restored through transformation. This is not mutation, but orchestration. Life reorganizing itself to continue. In the colorful gardens of coral reefs, wrasses perform the same act in reverse. Many are born female, living peaceful lives among schools of others. But when the dominant male disappears, one of the females changes sex, becoming male to take his role. The shift is complete. New colors bloom across her scales, new instincts awaken, new patterns of movement emerge. In a matter of weeks, the transformation is absolute. For these species, gender is not fixed but flexible, an adaptation written into their survival. It ensures reproduction continues, no matter the odds. The ocean, vast and ancient, favors fluidity over rigidity. Here, change is not weakness, it is resilience. Watching these transformations, scientists see something profound. Hormones, behavior, even entire organ systems, all realigned through natural design. It is as if evolution itself whispers through each cell, adapt or fade. The message is universal, echoing across all forms of life. Coral reefs, where many of these creatures live, are among the most complex ecosystems on Earth. Every color, every motion, every pattern of light serves a purpose. Fish glide through branching corals like living jewels, their bodies painted with the language of survival. To them, change is constant. Tides shift, temperatures rise and fall, and the dance of identity keeps the balance intact. Beyond biology, there's a kind of poetry to this. These transformations remind us that identity in nature isn't a single state. It's a spectrum of possibilities. The sea doesn't judge or question. It simply allows. A creature becomes what it must, when it must, guided by something deeper than choice, by the quiet intelligence of life itself. Imagine being within that world, surrounded by blue light and silence, where time moves with the rhythm of the tide. A coral polyp sways, a wrasse darts past, and somewhere in the shifting color of the reef, one life begins to change into another. You wouldn't notice at first. The transformation is gradual, seamless, as if the ocean itself were sculpting new forms from its currents. This is the genius of nature, to turn necessity into beauty. The coral reef is not chaotic. It is choreography. Every adaptation, every mutation, every color change adds to the harmony of survival. Even beyond the ocean, traces of this fluid adaptability exist everywhere. Certain frogs, snails, and insects on land share similar abilities. The slipper limpet, a small shellfish, begins its life as male but becomes female as it grows, joining a tower of others where each shell in the stack represents a different stage of change. The entire colony functions as a single living system, adjusting constantly to maintain equilibrium. Nature doesn't cling to identity, it moves with it. In the face of pressure or loss, life reshapes itself. It flows like water, seeking balance rather than control. If you've ever stood by the sea and watched waves merge and break, you've already seen the same principle at work. Each wave is unique, but none separate from the ocean. They rise, transform, and dissolve, each leaving behind the rhythm for the next. The sea teaches that continuity is not about staying the same, but about changing gracefully. Tonight, as you listen to these quiet stories, think of those coral reefs shimmering under moonlit water, alive, shifting, adapting. Think of the creatures that transform, not out of desire but out of harmony with the world around them. Their lesson is simple, yet eternal. That strength is not in resisting change, but in becoming part of it. And if that thought brings you peace, let it wash over you like the tide's slow, calm, and inevitable. Because the same current that moves the ocean moves through you as well, reminding you that transformation is not something to fear, it is how life endures. Out on the open ocean, far from the safety of land, the water can rise higher than mountains, not from storms, not from hurricanes, but from something far quieter, an invisible collision of waves that build upon one another until they merge into a single, towering wall of water. These are the rogue waves, the giants of the sea. For centuries, sailors told stories about them, waves that appeared without warning, doubling or tripling in height, capable of swallowing entire ships in a single strike. They called them freak waves, ghost waves, walls of water. Many dismissed them as myths, exaggerated tales born from fear and fatigue. Yet the ocean, as it often does, was keeping its truth hidden until we were ready to see it. In the last few decades, satellite data and deep-sea sensors have confirmed what sailors already knew. Rogue waves are real. They form when smaller waves moving at just the right speeds and angles combine their energy through a process called constructive interference. The result can be a single wave towering over 30 meters high, rising from calm seas as if the ocean itself had stood up to take a breath. Imagine being on a ship in the middle of a quiet night. The water is gentle, the stars reflected on the surface, the rhythm of the waves steady and predictable. Then, without warning, the horizon tilts. A dark shape looms higher and higher, blotting out the starlight. There is no wind, no thunder, only the silent power of gravity rearranging itself. And then it crashes. One heartbeat, and the ocean becomes chaos. Yet, just as suddenly as it appears, the rogue wave vanishes. The sea returns to calm, as though nothing happened. It's as if the water remembers and then forgets its own strength in the same breath. These waves are rare, but not impossible. They can occur anywhere, from the North Atlantic to the South Pacific, from calm tropical waters to polar seas. Some form from the meeting of opposing currents, like where the Agulhas current off Africa meets the open Indian Ocean. Others are born from storms thousands of kilometers away, their energy traveling across the globe until it finds resonance with another wave. Rogue waves remind us that the ocean is not predictable, no matter how much we study it. Its rhythms are ancient, and its moods unfathomable. It does not act in defiance of physics, but in perfect obedience to laws we still struggle to understand. And yet, for all their power, these waves are part of a greater balance. The energy that creates them also fuels the gentler swells that rock coastlines, shape beaches, and carry nutrients across entire ecosystems. The same physics that builds a monster wave also builds the calm tide that washes a child's footprints from the sand. The difference is only in scale. There is a strange peace in that realization that even chaos follows pattern, and even the fiercest moments of nature have their own kind of harmony. In mythology, oceans have always been symbols of mystery and emotion. They reflect us in ways few other elements can. A rogue wave, sudden and immense, is not unlike the storms of our own minds, powerful, unpredictable, and temporary. It rises, breaks, and disappears, leaving calm in its wake. The sea, like the self, remembers every surge but never holds on to it. If you could stand above the water and watch from the sky, you would see that even the largest wave is just part of a greater rhythm, an endless series of rises and falls, spreading across the planet like the slow heartbeat of the earth. Every wave connects to another. Every crest, no matter how violent, eventually settles back into stillness. Perhaps that is the quiet message the rogue waves carry, that power and peace are not opposites, but partners. That movement and rest exist within the same motion. So the next time you listen to the sound of waves, think of that hidden power beneath their calm. Think of the invisible math, the unseen patterns, the ancient rhythm that binds every drop of water together. The sea does not rage to destroy. It rises because it must. And when its energy is spent, it softens again, as if whispering an apology for the fear it caused. Tonight, as you rest, let that image stay with you, the ocean rising, falling, breathing. Let its rhythm guide your own. The storm will pass, the surface will smooth, and what remains will be the same as it has always been. Motion, memory, and peace in perfect balance. When night falls over certain coasts, the sea begins to glow, not with moonlight, not with reflections from the stars, but with its own silent radiance. Each ripple flashes blue, each wave curls with fire. It's called bioluminescence, and it's one of the most magical sights on Earth, the ocean made of light. At first, you might think it's an illusion, some trick of the eyes, but dip your hand into the water and you'll see it clearly, thousands of tiny sparks swirling around your fingers, glowing for just a moment before fading back into darkness. Every drop holds a secret life form, a microscopic being called a dinoflagellate, capable of producing light through chemistry. When disturbed by motion, a wave, a fish, a hand, they flash in defense. A brief burst of blue meant to confuse predators. These flashes are caused by a reaction between oxygen and an enzyme called luciferase, a name that means light bringer. It's the same reaction that makes fireflies glow on warm summer nights, and the same kind of light that drifts through the deep ocean, where sunlight never reaches. In these places, life has learned to create its own illumination, a self-made sunrise in eternal night. The brightest display on Earth can be found in Mosquito Bay, Puerto Rico. On moonless nights, the water glows so vividly that each paddle stroke leaves a comet trail behind. When fish dart beneath the surface, they leave streaks of blue flame that twist and vanish in seconds. Locals say the bay is alive, that the light is the laughter of the sea itself. From above, it looks like the stars have fallen into the water. And perhaps, in a way, they have. The same elements that burn in distant suns, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, are the ones that shimmer here, inside tiny living cells no bigger than dust. The cosmos repeats itself at every scale. The light of the universe finds a home even in the smallest creatures. But bioluminescence is more than beauty. It's survival. In the deep sea, far below the reach of surface glow, thousands of species use light for communication, camouflage, and hunting. Some anglerfish dangle glowing lures from their foreheads to attract prey. Others, like the flashlight fish, carry bioluminescent bacteria under their eyes, blinking in the darkness like living lanterns. Even squids and jellyfish use waves of light to distract predators or signal to mates, painting the water with messages written in flicker and color. The deep ocean, though dark, is never empty. It's filled with living constellations, drifting lights that move like galaxies beneath the waves. If you could see it all at once, it would look like the night sky turned upside down, with every spark a living being. The sea is not dark, it's full of hidden stars. Scientists studying these organisms have learned that bioluminescence evolved dozens of times, independently, proof that nature is drawn again and again to light. It's as if every form of life, from bacteria to whale, remembers the glow of the sun and tries to recreate it in its own way. There's something deeply human about that, the instinct to bring light into darkness. We build fires, light candles, and hang stars made of glass in our homes. The ocean does the same, only quieter, gentler, endlessly patient. If you ever find yourself standing by a glowing shore, don't rush. Step softly into the shallows and watch as each movement awakens the water. Every footstep sends ripples of light outward, merging, colliding, fading, like memories that flicker before sleep. It's impossible not to feel awe, and impossible not to feel small. The glow will fade as the night deepens, and the tide will carry the light away. But the memory will remain, that for one brief moment, you stood between sky and sea, surrounded by starlight above and below. Bioluminescence is proof that darkness is never truly empty. Even in the deepest night, there are things that shine softly, silently, enough to remind us that wonder survives where light seems lost. So tonight, as you close your eyes, imagine those blue waves curling toward the shore. Imagine each one carrying a spark, tiny lives illuminating the path between worlds. Let them drift across your mind, like falling stars over water. And if this thought calms you, hold it close. Even the darkest places on earth still remember how to glow. Beneath the calm surface of continents, the earth is never still. Mountains rise, oceans shift, and the crust of the planet breathes with a rhythm far slower than ours, measured not in seconds or seasons, but in millions of years. Even the tallest peaks that seem eternal are, in truth, still growing. Take the Himalayas, for instance. They began their ascent when the Indian subcontinent drifted north and collided with Asia around 50 million years ago. That collision continues today, pushing the crust upward millimeter by millimeter. Every earthquake in that region, every tremor that ripples through stone, is part of the same slow-motion continents meeting, reshaping the face of the planet. It is not destruction, it is construction on a geologic scale. Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth, still rises. Though erosion carves it down, the movement of tectonic plates lifts it back up, balancing decay with creation. The Himalayas are not fixed monuments. They are waves in stone, frozen mid-crest, rising and falling through time. And where the mountains rise, other forces stir below heat and pressure, moving like slow fire through the Earth's veins. In some places, that heat reaches the surface through cracks in the crust, creating geysers and hot springs. In others, it escapes through volcanoes, reshaping landscapes overnight. Yet most of it remains hidden, deep underground, keeping the inner Earth alive. One of the most mysterious expressions of this inner energy flows through the boiling river of the Peruvian Amazon, known to locals as Chanay Timpishka, or boiled by the heat of the sun. It stretches for more than 6 kilometers through dense rainforest, its waters reaching temperatures near 100 degrees Celsius. Leaves that fall into the current cook within minutes. Animals that wander too close are overcome by steam. Scientists who have studied it believe its heat comes not from volcanic activity nearby, but from geothermal energy traveling deep beneath the crust, surfacing through cracks in the Earth's bedrock. Walking along its banks feels like standing inside a living exhalation of the planet. Clouds of vapor rise through the trees, blending with the mist of the jungle. The air shimmers, alive with warmth. Here, fire and water coexist, not as enemies but as collaborators in the same cycle. And this balance of extremes happens everywhere. Beneath Iceland, magma pools near the surface, heating rivers and geysers that hiss through fields of ice. In Japan and New Zealand, hot springs bloom like mirrors of the underworld, steaming under snowfall. In places like Yellowstone, the Earth's heat paints the ground with surreal colors: orange, turquoise, green, created by microbes that thrive in boiling water. Even in the most hostile environments, life finds a way to claim the energy the Earth releases. That persistence reveals something profound. Our planet is not merely a sphere of rock. It is a living engine, circulating heat, minerals, and energy through its crust like blood through veins. The same processes that once shaped continents are still at work now, just too slow for human eyes to see. If you could watch the world in time-lapse, thousands of years passing each second, you'd see the ground moving like waves, the crust bending and folding, mountains rising and dissolving. Rivers would carve canyons, glaciers would scrape valleys, volcanoes would build islands and bury them again. You'd realize that Earth is not static. It is a vast, breathing organism made of stone and fire. And yet, amid all this motion, balance remains. Even destruction creates space for renewal. The molten rock that spills from volcanoes will one day harden into fertile soil. The ash that darkens the sky becomes nourishment for forests to come. The mountains that crumble feed the rivers that carry minerals back to the sea. Nothing in nature is wasted. This slow creation, patient, relentless, is what allows us to stand here, above it all, unaware that the ground itself is alive. If you could listen closely, you might hear it. The low, endless murmur of tectonic plates shifting, the faint hum of magma moving miles below your feet. It's the sound of time itself, the quiet heartbeat of a planet still becoming. The Earth is not finished. It is still writing its story, one eruption, one earthquake, one grain of sand at a time. And though we may only glimpse a single chapter, we are part of that story. Too, children of a living world that never stops changing. So tonight, as you rest, think of those mountains still rising into the cold, the rivers steaming in the dark jungles, the molten heart turning slowly beneath you. Everything is in motion, even when it seems still. The ground below is alive, and you, standing upon it, are part of its endless rhythm. If this thought gives you peace, let it linger like warmth beneath your skin. The same fire that shapes mountains burns softly in you, quiet, steady, and full of life. In the world's quietest deserts, the wind sometimes sings. It doesn't carry words, only tones, low, resonant, and strange, as though the earth itself were humming under its breath. Travelers call it booming sand, a phenomenon where dunes vibrate and release deep notes that roll across the landscape like invisible thunder. The first sound begins with movement, a single grain sliding down a slope, and then a chorus follows, millions of grains cascading in rhythm. Together, they produce a voice that can be heard for miles. Each desert has its own song. In the Namib Desert, the sound is a soft, haunting hum. In the Gobi, it becomes a deeper, almost musical vibration that lingers long after the dunes settle. Marco Polo once wrote of it centuries ago, describing the drums of the sands that echoed across the valleys. He didn't know he was hearing science disguised as mystery, friction, resonance, and perfect grain size, combining into a single note of pure sound. No one fully agrees why some dunes sing and others remain silent. The shape of the slope, the humidity, and even the temperature of the sand all play a part. When dry grains slide together just right, their collective motion amplifies into vibration, much like a violin string or the skin of a drum. It's nature composing music without an audience, the desert turning movement into melody. Standing among those dunes feels otherworldly. The air shivers with tone. The ground hums beneath your feet. And for a moment, you sense that the silence of the desert is not empty. It's full of hidden resonance, waiting to be touched. Every gust of wind becomes an instrument, every shifting dune a memory of motion turned into sound. And sometimes the stones sing too. In certain canyons and open plains, wind sweeps across rocky surfaces, setting them to vibrate. These singing rocks produce deep, hollow notes that seem to rise from the ground. They are rare and unpredictable, their sound dependent on angle, grain, and the weight of air. When they do sing, it's as if the planet itself has chosen a frequency, low and ancient, to remind us that everything solid once moved. But not all desert music is heard through air. Some of it lies buried deep beneath the sand, the slow shifting of stones, the creaking of dunes as they crawl across valleys, inch by inch, sculpted by wind. Deserts are not static. They walk. Over centuries, entire fields of sand migrate, swallowing villages and revealing fossils, carrying echoes of ancient seabeds that once lay beneath oceans long vanished. The same winds that erase footprints also carve eternity into form. There are deserts so bright they seem like frozen seas. In White Sands National Park in New Mexico, dunes made of gypsum crystals stretch endlessly under the sun. The sand is pure white, soft and cool even in heat, because gypsum reflects light instead of absorbing it. From space, the dunes gleam like snowfields. At night, under a full moon, they glow faintly, pale blue and silver, a landscape made of light. Walking there feels like crossing another world. The sand squeaks gently underfoot, a soft, almost musical sigh, and the horizon ripples like water. Each dune shifts slowly, sculpted by the breath of the planet. And though the desert seems empty, it's teeming with life. Lizards, foxes, beetles, all hidden beneath the sand, listening. Sound moves differently here. It doesn't echo. It absorbs. The air feels thick, carrying vibration instead of noise. When the wind passes, you can almost hear its fingers brushing across the dunes, a vast, unseen instrument played by time. The desert's music teaches us something about stillness. It shows that silence isn't the absence of sound, but a space that allows sound to live. The same grains that whisper today once belonged to mountains. The same wind that hums tonight once carried ocean spray across the world. Every tone, every vibration, is part of a larger continuity, the voice of a planet that never truly stops speaking. And in that awareness, there's peace. To stand among dunes that sing is to realize that beauty does not always need movement or color. Sometimes it's simply vibration, the memory of energy lingering in the air. If you ever find yourself in a desert and hear that low hum rising from the sand, stop and listen. Don't try to explain it. Just feel it. It is the sound of time, of erosion, of wind, of heat, of billions of years condensed into a single breath. Tonight, as you listen to your own quiet surroundings, imagine that hum in the distance, soft, slow, and steady. The desert sings not to be heard, but to remind the world that even silence has a voice. And if that thought settles you, hold it close. The earth is always singing in wind, in stone, in the slow movement of mountains and dunes. You only have to be still long enough to hear it. Beneath the driest deserts on earth, where the sun burns away every drop of moisture and the surface seems stripped of life, there are lakes, vast, silent reservoirs of ancient water hidden deep underground. They are called aquifers, and they stretch for hundreds, sometimes thousands of kilometers beneath the sand. You can't see them, you can't hear them, but they are there, quietly holding the memory of a greener earth. In the Sahara, scientists have mapped immense underground basins filled with fossil water that fell as rain tens of thousands of years ago, back when the desert was a savanna teeming with rivers, grasslands, and herds of wildlife. That ancient world vanished, but the water remained, sealed beneath layers of rock and sand. Today, wells and natural springs tap into these hidden stores, feeding isolated oases where palm trees rise from golden emptiness like mirages made real. To stand at such an oasis is to feel time bending. The air is dry, yet the scent of moisture lingers. Date palms rustle softly. The water that gathers in still pools beneath them may have begun its journey when humans first painted on cave walls. Each drop is a messenger from the past rain that fell before history began, returning now to the surface for a brief moment before sinking again into silence. These underground lakes are more than relics, they are lifelines. In regions where rainfall is rare, aquifers sustain entire communities, ecosystems, and migrations. Nomadic peoples have followed their presence for centuries, reading the desert like a map, the shape of the dunes, the pattern of vegetation, the taste of the wind, all signs that water lies below. To find it is to find life. But as with all hidden gifts, balance is fragile. Modern drilling and climate shifts draw these waters faster than nature can replace them. Some ancient aquifers, once thought inexhaustible, are now shrinking, their reserves vanishing drop by drop. What took the Earth millennia to store may disappear within a few human lifetimes. It's a quiet crisis, one that reminds us how delicate our connection to the planet's hidden systems truly is. Still, the desert holds hope. In places like the Rub al Khali, the empty quarter of Arabia satellites have revealed faint traces of old riverbeds beneath the dunes, pathways that once carried water across what is now a sea of sand. Each ancient channel is a ghost, a reminder that even the most desolate landscapes once flowed with abundance. Some scientists believe that as the Earth's climate changes again, rains could one day return, reviving those buried rivers. It's difficult to imagine such transformation when you stand under the crushing stillness of a desert sky. Yet the planet is full of such surprises, cycles that unfold too slowly for human eyes to witness. The same patience that shaped mountains and carved canyons also guards the hidden reservoirs below. Nothing is ever truly lost. It simply waits for its time to reappear. In a way, these underground lakes mirror something within us, quiet reserves of memory and resilience that we may forget until the world grows dry. When life feels barren, when meaning seems lost beneath the heat of daily struggle, it helps to remember that stillness does not mean emptiness. Beneath every silence lies something living, waiting for its moment to rise. Imagine walking through the Sahara at dawn. The sand is cold, the light soft and colorless. No sound but the wind moving across the dunes. Yet deep beneath your feet, an entire sea sleeps unseen. Patient, older than civilization. The knowledge of its existence changes everything. The emptiness becomes a surface, not an absence. You realize that what appears barren is only the skin of something immense and alive. That is the paradox of deserts. They seem lifeless, yet they hold life's oldest memory. The same is true for many of Earth's extremes, the frozen poles, the boiling springs, the dark ocean trenches. Everywhere the surface says no, but the depths whisper yes. Life always finds a way. So tonight, as you rest, think of those hidden waters. Think of how they move through rock and time, unseen but eternal. The same water that once fell as ancient rain still moves beneath the ground, connecting past to present, desert to ocean, life to life. You, too, are part of that cycle. The water within you may once have drifted in a prehistoric cloud, fallen upon a forgotten forest, or flowed through the veins of another living being centuries ago. The planet remembers itself through water, and through it, everything remains connected. If that thought brings you calm, let it sink in like rainfall into the earth. Beneath every dry season in nature, in the heart, there is always something waiting to bloom again. In the quiet gaze of animals, there are questions we still struggle to answer. What do they know? What do they feel? Do they recognize themselves as we do? For centuries, we believed that consciousness, self-awareness belonged only to us. But nature, patient and unbothered by our assumptions, has shown otherwise. Among the most extraordinary discoveries of modern science is the mirror test, a simple experiment with profound meaning. When an animal sees its reflection, does it understand that the image is itself? For many creatures, the reflection is just another being, another presence to challenge or ignore. But for a few great apes, dolphins, elephants, magpies, and even some fish, the reaction is different. They pause, examine, and begin to test. They move their heads, raise their arms, watch as the image mimics them perfectly. Then, something deeper happens. They touch their faces, their bodies, as if realizing, that is me. It's a subtle moment, but a monumental one. The boundary between instinct and awareness blurs. These creatures don't just live, they understand that they are living. Self-awareness is not limited to mirrors, though. Scientists have found that crows and ravens plan for the future, hiding food and returning for it days later. Octopuses use tools, collecting coconut shells to build portable shelters. Orcas teach their young complex hunting strategies, passing knowledge across generations. Intelligence, it seems, blooms everywhere. Life takes hold not identical to ours, but shaped by each environment, each need. Perhaps awareness itself is not a single light switched on in the human mind, but a spectrum that runs through all of nature. The elephant who mourns her dead, the dolphin who calls her child by name, the magpie who hides food for tomorrow, all live with a sense of self that mirrors our own in ways both familiar and strange. Some researchers believe that dogs can read human emotion not by instinct alone, but by recognizing patterns in our expressions, tones, and gestures. Parrots can understand concepts of same and different, and even form preferences and opinions. Bees communicate the location of flowers through dances, a geometry of movement that encodes distance, direction, and quality. These are not mechanical reactions. They are language, the exchange of meaning. And beyond animals, communication stretches even further. Trees share nutrients through underground networks, warning their neighbors of pests. Plants respond to touch, light, and even vibration. In laboratories, scientists have recorded how some release specific chemical signals when their leaves are damaged, as if crying out into the air. The forest listens and answers. The more we learn, the less alone we become. We begin to see ourselves not as masters of the natural world, but as participants within it, another branch on a vast tree of awareness that began long before us and will continue long after. There is a quiet humility in this understanding. The fox that watches from the edge of the forest, the whale that sings through the depths, the cat that blinks slowly in contentment. Each experiences a version of being alive that is no less real, no less meaningful than our own. We used to believe that thought was defined by language, that feeling was defined by words. But perhaps it is the other way around. Maybe language was our way of catching up to something the rest of life already knew, that to exist is to feel, to move, to connect. The universe seems to delight in awareness. From the smallest cell sensing heat to the largest creature navigating oceans, consciousness flickers in countless forms. It's not an invention, but a continuation, a reflection of the same energy that animates the stars, flowing through the veins of the living world. When you meet the gaze of another creature, a bird, a dog, even an insect glinting in sunlight pause for a moment. Behind those eyes, there is experience. It may not resemble yours, but it is just as true. Life recognizes life, silently and completely. Perhaps that's what awareness truly is, not thinking, but noticing. Not ownership of knowledge, but participation in wonder. The magpie preening before its reflection, the dolphin tracing circles in glass, the elephant standing still over her fallen companion. They remind us that consciousness is not our invention. It is the earth knowing itself through every living thing. As you rest tonight, think of that, the shared breath between you and the world. The same air filling your lungs moves through forests, oceans, and the wings of birds. To be alive is to be connected, aware in ways beyond thought. And if this reflection on the minds of nature helps you feel that connection, let it remain with you. The silence around you is not empty, it's full of recognition, full of life, full of knowing. Across the vastness of nature, every element of life, soil, water, wind, fire, carries memory. It's easy to forget, surrounded by cities and static walls, that the ground beneath our feet is in constant conversation with the air, the oceans, and the stars. But sometimes, the earth reminds us gently, persistently, through signs that are subtle, yet full of wonder. One of those reminders lies high above, in the thin atmosphere where twilight still glows. There, at the edge of space, form the rarest and most delicate of clouds, noctilucent clouds, meaning night shining. They drift more than 80 kilometers above the surface, made of tiny ice crystals clinging to dust left behind by meteors. When the sun has set for us but still touches the upper atmosphere, these clouds catch its light and shimmer like silver silk against the deep blue of night. Every phenomenon like this, from lightning that glows in red sprites to auroras that dance in green fire, is a sign that our planet is not isolated but electric, woven into the fabric of the cosmos. Energy moves through it the way blood moves through a living body. We are watching the planet think in color. Below, in the deep oceans, similar beauty unfolds in silence. Hydrothermal vents release columns of mineral-rich water, rising through freezing darkness like underwater smoke. Around them bloom entire ecosystems, tube worms, blind crabs, and glowing fish thriving on heat instead of sunlight. It's a reminder that life's flame doesn't only burn where light reaches. It burns wherever energy exists. And then, there are the rivers hidden beneath ice, entire waterways flowing under Antarctica's frozen surface. Scientists have recently mapped hundreds of them, connecting subglacial lakes across the continent. These rivers move slowly, lubricating the massive ice sheets above and carrying microbial life that has been isolated for millions of years. Even under a world of silence and frost, motion continues. In every extreme, frozen or boiling, bright or dark, the same law holds true: life endures. It does not always roar or bloom or dazzle. Sometimes it hums softly beneath the surface, waiting, persisting, believing in its own return. If you look close enough, everything alive carries traces of that endurance. The seeds that sleep through decades of drought before awakening with rain, the coral that rebuilds itself after storms, the forests that grow again from ashes. Even the human heart, fragile as it seems, beats with the same resilience. Every pulse echoes the rhythms that began long before us, the same that will continue long after. Our ancestors once believed the elements were gods: earth, air, fire, and water. Today we call them systems, but the reverence remains. The soil gives us nourishment. The air carries breath. The fire warms and transforms. The water connects all things, the memory that never dies. Every molecule inside you has been part of this cycle. You are, quite literally, made of ancient rain, mountain dust, and starlight. Think of that the next time you breathe. You are inhaling the same atoms that once drifted through forests, across oceans, through the lungs of animals now long gone. The world is not outside you, it flows through you. You are part of the same story, written in the same elements. Somewhere tonight, lightning flickers over distant seas, glaciers shift in their frozen sleep. A volcano deep beneath the Pacific pushes new rock into being. The earth continues, quietly writing itself anew, and we, for all our noise and motion, are part of that writing, small but inseparable, fragile but eternal in the patterns we inherit. There is comfort in that thought, that nothing truly disappears, not light, not warmth, not even us. The forms may change, but the essence remains recycled endlessly through soil, sea, and sky. As you rest now, imagine that silent circulation, water rising as mist, falling as rain, sinking as river, freezing as ice. Life flowing through form and formlessness, again and again, like the slow breathing of the planet. If this image brings calm to your mind, hold it gently. The earth never hurries, yet it creates everything. You, too, are part of that still and endless motion. The rhythm of renewal, the echo of time, the silence between one heartbeat and the next. And so, we come to the quiet end of our journey, a journey through forests that whisper, deserts that sing, oceans that glow, and mountains that rise as slowly as breath. We have wandered through time and tide, from the smallest seed waiting beneath the soil to the clouds that shine above the edge of night. Every step has revealed one truth that ties them all together. The earth is alive, patient, creative, and endlessly becoming. It's easy, in the rush of daily life, to forget this pulse. The ground beneath our feet feels solid, unmoving. The sky above seems still, yet beneath that stillness, everything flows. Rivers of air circle the globe, carrying storms and warmth. Currents of water weave through the oceans, linking continents in a single heartbeat. Deep beneath the crust, molten rock stirs, reminding us that creation is never over. Even silence has motion, it just moves too slowly for us to see. The stories of nature are not only about wonder, they are about connection. Every fact we've uncovered, every miracle we've witnessed, is a thread in a vast fabric of life that includes us too. The same atoms that form a mountain also flow through our veins. The same carbon that feeds the forest returns to us with every breath. There is no separation, only transformation. When you listen to the wind through trees or the rhythm of waves against stone, you are hearing the same music that has played for billions of years. It isn't loud or demanding. It doesn't need to be. Nature speaks in tones of patience, slow, deliberate, eternal. In its language, destruction is never final. Fires clear the forest for renewal. Storms stir nutrients into the sea. The collapse of one form becomes the beginning of another. Even decay is a form of generosity, one life giving itself to fuel the next. That is the balance the planet keeps. A cycle so vast and so simple it feels like wisdom itself. Perhaps that's why spending time in nature so often feels like remembering something, not learning, but recognizing. Somewhere deep inside, we already understand these rhythms. The way sunlight falls through leaves, the quiet that follows rain, the scent of earth after storm. These are memories written into our biology, reminders of where we came from and where we still belong. The more we learn about the world, the clearer it becomes that we are not its observers. We are its continuation. We are the forests, given thought. The ocean, given voice. The stars, given the ability to wonder about themselves. Every moment of awareness is the universe turning inward to see its own reflection. So when you watch a leaf drift down a river, or a cloud stretch thin across the sky, know that you are part of that motion. You are not standing outside of it. You are inside it, made of it. The same quiet intelligence that guides the stars also moves within your breath. There is comfort in that, and humility too. The world does not need us to be extraordinary. It simply invites us to remember that we already belong. And maybe that's what peace truly is, the feeling of returning to that understanding, that life doesn't rush toward a destination, it unfolds. That meaning is not found in grand gestures, but in still moments, in the pause between heartbeats, in the light that lingers before night. Let your thoughts drift like clouds, your breath slow like waves. The world is quiet now, and so are you. The stories will continue in wind, in rain, in light, whether or not you are awake to hear them. And when morning comes, remember, you walk through miracles every day. You breathe starlight, you drink ancient rain. You are the earth, dreaming of itself. Thank you for joining this long and gentle journey, for listening, for wondering, for resting in the slow heartbeat of nature. Until we meet again beneath another sky, may you carry this calm wherever you go. Before we drift away completely, let's linger here in the hush that follows the last word, where reflection begins. We've traveled through time, across continents and oceans, through layers of earth and air, and found that every story leads to the same quiet truth. Everything is connected. The soil beneath our feet remembers fallen leaves from centuries ago. The air we breathe has passed through lungs, forests, and clouds countless times. Even light, that ancient traveler, is shared. The photons that warm your skin this very moment may have left the sun before your ancestors were born. Time and matter flow in circles, not lines. Nothing stands alone. When you look up at the night sky, what you see is not distance but continuity. The stars that appear frozen in place are still moving, drifting, expanding, colliding, like glowing dust in slow motion. Every one of them is a furnace of creation, forging the same elements that make up our oceans, our bones, and the air that fills this room. In a very real sense, you are looking at your own origin. Perhaps that is why stargazing feels like remembering. It awakens something wordless, the sense that life didn't begin here, but continues here. The universe doesn't exist around us, it exists through us. The same energy that swirls galaxies also beats within our hearts. There's peace in realizing this unity. It means that even when life feels small or fragile, you are still part of something infinite. Every heartbeat adds to the music of existence. Every breath joins the quiet pulse of the cosmos. The stars are not distant. They are within you, still burning softly. Close your eyes for a moment and listen not to sound but to stillness. Beneath it, there's rhythm. Your breathing, your pulse, the slow turning of the earth. This is what eternity sounds like, not thunder or grandeur, but the steady continuation of life in all its forms. The planet will keep turning long after we've finished speaking. Winds will travel across mountains, whales will sing through dark water, and new forests will rise where old ones have fallen. Creation does not stop, it only changes its shape, always finding new ways to express the same eternal motion. And you, wherever you are, whenever you listen, are part of that motion. You are the observer and the observed, the echo and the source. The atoms that hold your body together were once scattered across the stars, and they will return there someday. But for now, they are gathered in this fleeting, beautiful arrangement called you. Hold that thought gently. You are temporary, yes, but so is every sunrise, every snowflake, every song of wind through trees, and yet, for the moment they exist, they are perfect. That's all life asks of us, to be fully here, fully alive, before we too are carried back into the great cycle. So take one last slow breath. Feel the air enter, feel it leave. You are part of the same rhythm that moves the oceans and spins the galaxies. The story continues not out there, but within you. And when you wake, the world will still be waiting, full of quiet wonders, ancient light, and new beginnings. The cosmos is listening. Every atom remembers light. You are the observer of infinity. Good night, and see you in the next video.